So here we are today in Town Hall. We're going to have a little special ceremony for the Jima as a celebration, but there's so many people that were involved with so many aspects of being involved with the service. You're here today to show honor. Introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, my name is Jack O'Neill, and I went into the service right out of high school, graduating from Fair Lawn High. At that time, the World War II was over, and after basic training, I went and spent 4 years in Berlin, Germany, during the Berlin airlift and the Berlin blockade. Following the 4 years, I came back home and went to Officers Candidate School, and then eventually they sent me over to Korea, where I spent the year of 1953, which was the final year of the Korean War. And I stayed in the service for about 7.5 years.
Well, that's a long time.
Yes.
That's a long time.
And after that, I went to college, University of Maryland, on the GI Bill. And the big thing that we respected with the World War II veterans and all those who served both in Europe and in the Pacific was the great sacrifices that they made. Even with Iwo Jima, some people may wonder why spent so much time trying to destroy the 20,000 Japanese that were in that fortress island. But Iwo Jima also had 3 air bases, and having those 3 air bases was important to us, so that we could then send our air fleets over to Okinawa as well as mainland Japan. And the thing is too that since our taking that island with those 3 air bases meant that it deprived the Japanese of using those air bases, and then they had to retreat. And one thing that we do periodically too, every year, we go to the various schools, Fair Lawn High and Memorial and TJ, and we on Veterans Day, during that particular period of time, we conduct interviews with them, and they seem to get a lot out of it, and it brings them up to date. But it is also a connection for us, older people, to connect with the students and who are going to be the future of Fair Lawn and our country and our state.
That's incredible. I can't imagine all the thoughts and the memories that you must have. But one thing I do want to say, I know you're appreciative of what's happening today, the ceremony, but a tip of my hat to you, sir, for your service and for being a great part of this town as well. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you. And while I'm waiting for the ceremony to start, I'm going to chat with another gentleman right over here. Hi, sir. What's your name, please?
Sal Sheldon.
A little background, please.
Well, I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I don't have as interesting story as Jack O'Neill does.
Just having you serve, sir, is his story.
Well, 1959 to 1961, and that was the time with the Cuban crisis when President Kennedy was president. And fortunately, we didn't go over and fight in Cuba, but we're ready to go.
Well, I just want to let you know, as I've always been saying, that we appreciate all your service all the time and understand that you're here today to honor those, not just that one particular situation, but all those that have ever served. God bless you, and thank you for your energy and time. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here for this particular ceremony. I know it's very special for all of us. Introduce yourself and just a little background, please.
My name is Jim Storazuk. Family moved here in 1941. I've been active in the community. I served 5.5 years active duty in the U.S. Army, to include 18 months in Vietnam.
We just want to always appreciate, I mean, it's so hard sometimes just to put into simple words, but thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for being here today to show that to others as well. God bless you, sir.
We're here to remember the Marines on Iwo Jima.
Yes, we're not going to forget anybody at any time. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Councilwoman Swain, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, we're here just before the ceremony starts, but your thoughts about Phil on doing a special honor like this?
I I think it's wonderful because whenever we can remember the people who have served our country, it's an important event, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to honor the Marines who served our country.
I think it's always a special occasion, and the words we'll never forget always come into my mind. And I think it is very special. Thank you for being here as well. And as I always say, thank you for everything you do for the town.
And thank you. So now people will be able to watch and remember.
That's the whole idea of it. Never forget. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here for this ceremony today. I want to thank one of our residents, Rich Seibel, who, as everyone knows, is always concerned about veterans and brought this idea to the borough to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima. And I'd like to start out by introducing Councilwoman Lisa Swain, Freeholder David Gans, the Chairman of our Veterans Council, Colonel Jack O'Neill, Rich Seibel, who worked himself together. And today we have with us also Nick Magarelli, and Nick is the assistant to the borough manager, but he is also our newly appointed liaison to the Veterans Council from the borough. So we think that's great. And also our borough manager, Jim Van Kroonigen, is here in the back of the room. So we're very happy that you're all here today. You know, it's a very interesting thing that Mr. Seibel came to me with this idea. He Facebooked me the statue from Mount Suribachi and said we have to do something about this. So today we come here to remember the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima. It started on February 19th, 1945, and it was a major battle in which the United States fought and captured the island. And the battle ended on March 26, 1945. During the battle, 6,821 United States Marines were killed. 2 were captured, but they were recovered. 19,217 Marines were wounded, and 1 escort carrier was sunk. The Japanese lost 18,844 soldiers, 216 were taken prisoner, and some 3,000 were left hiding in caves because they wouldn't surrender. The 5-week battle was comprised of some of the fiercest fighting of World War II. The battle, of course, was immortalized by Joe Rosenthal's raising of the American flag, the photo, on top of Mount Suribachi, where 5 U.S. Marines and 1 U.S. Navy corpsman raised the flag, and that took place on the 5th day of the battle. World War II was supposed to be the war that ended all wars. Unfortunately, today we are all aware that it wasn't true. That's important for us to remember the members of our armed forces who fought in World War II and all our wars to protect our freedom. But today, we have members of our armed forces still fighting and protecting our freedom. Today, 5 miles from a base in Iraq in the Anwar province, 340 Marines stand ready to take on the Islamic terrorist group ISIS. They're only 5 miles away. So today, I think we should keep those Marines in our thoughts and our prayers. But I do know that those Marines will fight with the same courage and valor that the Marines fought in Iwo Jima or any other place that the United States Marines have landed. So today, our country, once again, is faced with people who want to take people's lives for insane reasons because they don't believe what they believe in. So tonight and today, we remember those who fought at Iwo Jima and all of those who fought to protect our freedom over the years so that we could stand here. God bless our men and women in uniform and all those that have served and those that have died protecting our freedom. And may God bless America. Will you all please rise? We're going to do the flag salute also. And I would like Colonel O'Neill, will you please lead us in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next call on, you can all be seated. Next call on freeholder David Gaines and former Fairlawn Mayor. Welcome back.
Thank you and good morning. The commemoration of the Iwo Jima events of 70 years ago caused us pause and have us look at what a 230-plus-year-old organization, the United States Marines, have done for America. It is a strong reminder that not only the Marines, but all of our armed services and our veterans have contributed to the pride that we have in our country and in the words that we just recited in the Pledge of Allegiance. The enemies of freedom, the enemies of the United States, hate that flag. They hate the words that we just recited. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The reminder of Iwo Jima is that not only were American troops killed, but our enemies were killed as well in a cause of war that we were fighting for what was right and for the liberty that we all deserve. God bless our troops. God bless the people of Fairlawn. God bless the people of Bergen County, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Next, the chairperson of our Veterans Council, Colonel Jack O'Neill.
At this time, we will conduct the wreath-laying ceremony. Of the day,
Sir.
have the post commanders assembled at the back of the room in preparation for placing the wreath.
Yes, sir. Veterans, on your feet.
All rise.
Attention. Present arms. Forward. March. Arms. Order. Arms.
Also today, have the commanders retire and dismiss.
Post commanders, return to your seats. Dismiss.
Bell, the person who's responsible for this. As many of you know, the Marines go by the code Semper Fidelis, always faithful. And although Rich was not a Marine, his son was a Marine who served in Iraq, I believe, Afghanistan. But he portrays that, being always faithful. He's always thinking about our veterans and always out there supporting the troops. And I want to thank him for that personally. And I also want to thank, with us today is Alan Crutchkoff from a Dr. Soldier platoon, a man who's been to Iraq, Afghanistan, and he and his wife Mary Edna work tirelessly for our troops. So Alan, just stand up. I want everybody to give Alan a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor, dignitaries, and everyone who came today. Today's an important day. We have all seen the photographs of our great nation's history frozen in time. Whether it's the amazement and wonder induced by the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969, or the jubilation of the sailor kissing a nurse on VJ Day in Times Square in 1945. These are some of the images that have inspired our nation for generations. But perhaps the most iconic photo in American history was taken by Joe Rosenthal, an AP war photographer. It depicts 5 Marines and a Navy corpsman raising an American flag atop Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima. Of the 6 who raised our flag, only 3 would survive the battle that began 70 years ago today. What makes this photo so inspirational and so important to our history is that it captures the essence of the American spirit for the world to see. You will notice that the flag is not completely raised. The men are in the process of raising the American flag, indicating action, that there is more work to be done and the job is not yet complete. The work of those brave Americans continues to this day and is the reason we are all here. Like the Marines and the Navy corpsmen raising the flag on Mount Suribachi, our national pride and American spirit needs to be on display and obvious to all. Every new day is another opportunity to raise the colors high in the face of our enemies, both foreign and domestic. Whatever the odds may be, our American spirit comes from the still beating heart of patriotic Americans who have fought and died so this great nation could be passed on to future patriots yet unborn. In closing, to our Marines, leathernecks, devil dogs, riflemen all, I repeat for you, our flags unfurled to every breeze, from dawn to setting sun. We have fought in every clime and place where we could take a gun. In the snow far off northern lands and in sunny tropic scenes, you will find us always on the job, the United States Marines. As Americans, we will fight, we will never quit, we will not lose, and we will never forget. Hoorah, Semper Fi.
Thank you, Rich. As Rich started out, he said that it was frozen in time, and I want to thank all of you for coming out today, because we all know how cold it is outside. For so many of you to be here, it's quite an honor. And just today, as we go through our daily lives, if we could just think back to 70 years ago, to these young men that went ashore to this island that no one had ever heard of before, and many of them laid down their lives and were wounded, so we can stand here today and have freedom. So thank you all so much for coming, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
The ceremony just concluded, but I think you have something very special and unique to share with us. Introduce yourself, please. What's your name?
My name is Don Morris. My dad was a lieutenant commander in the Navy, a war correspondent, and he was at Iwo Jima. His roommate, his shipmate on the Lexington was Joe Rosenthal, who took the famous picture at Iwo Jima. And as a memento, Mr. Rosenthal gave him a copy of the original, from the original negative, and signed it over to my dad.
Now, folks, I just want you to see, as he's talking about it, he's actually holding it right in his hand. Again, it's autographed, and this is actually like a copy of the original?
It's from the negative.
It's from the negative itself?
Yeah.
How long have you had this in the family, then? You've had it all this time?
All my life. Yeah.
You've had it all your life?
45.
How does it feel when you look at it and hold it?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. In fact, Dad loved the Marines, and that's why I went to the Marine Corps in '63.
You were in the Marine Corps in '63, sir? You said?
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah, '63 to '68. And, so it was quite a time.
It's a very special thing to share with us. I just needed to see that. Thank you very, very much for your service and for your family's service as well.
Okay. My pleasure.
Thank you. The Mayor, your words before were so strong and so meaningful. Your thoughts about really today and all the other days that we celebrate and honor our service people?
Well, Wayne, we get to enjoy our freedom here, and as I said, 70 years ago, these young men went onto an island that no one had ever even heard the name before, and they fought for our freedom, and they fought to preserve our way of life, and we're the benefactors. And it's been a long liturgy of service by many people in our armed forces today, and it continues. But it's just nice to take some time out of our day here to remember that 70 years ago today, that these people fought for our freedom, these United States Marines.
And I think what's so special about the Borough of Fairlawn is that we do stuff like this. We remember all those that served, not just this one time, but as many times as we can, because they deserve it. Thank you, and God bless you too, sir. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.